It is the 41st millennium. Mankind battles for survival across the universe, besieged on all fronts by the heretic, the mutant, and the alien. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. One faction of Space Marines stands amidst the chaos, the mightiest of the Emperor's warriors, and a beacon of light in the darkness. This legion, the 9th Legion of Adeptus Astartes, the Blood Angels.
Hello, good evening. It's been a little while. It has been a little while. How is everybody? Someone give me a shout out and tell me you can hear me okay. Yeah, apparently the last show was the 30th of July, so it's been 3 weeks. I was on holiday for a couple of weeks. And I think we're getting a balanced data slate in like a couple of weeks' time. I mean, we're looking at lists. My personal standpoint at the moment is like armor is just so much better than infantry, and melee is so much harder to do than it was last edition effectively. So there's two huge elephants in the room for playing Blood Angels. So although I haven't curated any of these lists we're looking at, so these lists could have a lot of melee units in them. My personal preference at the moment is tanks. I'm running 6 tanks, 2 dreadnoughts, and then like 2 squads of infantry. That's my list. That's what's working for me. I'm going to be playing that on the channel on Wednesday night. I'm hoping to go for a 4th win in a row with that list. And then I think I saw Miles in the chat. Hi, Miles. Hi, everybody, by the way. Good evening. I'm playing Miles the week after, and hopefully, like after I beat Brett, then I'll be going for 5 wins in a row against Miles's list. So, when people are getting upset that Blood Angels only have a 41% win rate, I guess you can win, but you need to think about using armor. So my personal preference, I guess, is I like to win, so I'm running armor. But we'll look at these lists, we'll try and be objective, we'll try and talk about what's good. But yeah, nice to see everybody in the house. I see Peter, Daryl, Adrian, Gregory, Zacharias, Jaegerbomb. Ray was asking, should you run 10 Sangre Guard? I think they're too expensive, Ray. I wouldn't run any of them at the moment, personally. Some people are running 5 and making that work, but I don't. Maybe you could run 2 5s, but I definitely wouldn't run a 10-man squad of them. Nick, good evening. How are you? Nice to see you. AFOC, good evening. Jim, hello. Highland Phoenix, nice to see you as always. Miles is also aiming for a 100% win rate against you in 10th edition. Okay, so the game against Miles in 2 weeks' time is going to be the big one. What's that? The 30th of August. That's going to be the grudge match. Okay. So if I beat you, Miles, then I'll be 5 wins in a row. But if you beat me, you'll keep your 100% against me. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Cool. All right. So let's have a look at the very first list. This is submitted by Chrono saying, and he said he should be dumping his list that he's been having great success with. I also want to caveat that, like, I saw a Blood Angels player has won a couple of tournaments now using a list with very little melee units whatsoever. So I'm going to be covering that on the channel this week as well. Alright, so Chronosane's list is the Sons of Sanguinius list with a captain with a jump pack, combi weapon and a power fist and Visage of Death. I'm going to have to look up Visage of Death, actually. I didn't think it was that good when I looked at it. 1 second, let me pull up the codex just so I've got it. Visage of Death is a lot worse than it was last edition. Visage of Death, while an enemy unit, excluding monsters and vehicles in its engagement range, you half the OC. Okay. So you half the OC of infantry, beasts, or swarms. I guess there could be some place for that. We have a chaplain with a jump pack who has a plasma pistol and the Crozius. We have a librarian in Terminator armor with a combi weapon. I guess a force weapon and smite. There's not really any choice there, is there? And then the Primaris Company champion, who basically just has a mastercrafted power sword. Okay, we got the Ballistus Dreadnought. I've only played 1 game with the Ballistus Dreadnought. I didn't hate it. I don't know if I feel like it's super strong, but in the meta where you need some anti-armor firepower at long range, I guess you could go worse than a Ballistus Dreadnought. We've got Blade Guard Veterans, and this is a 6-man squad of Blade Guard Veterans. I prefer Blade Guard veterans in squads of 3, but 6, I guess, is fine. We've got the 5 Death Company with 5 plasma pistols and 5 power fists. I think that's probably how you want to run Death Company. I prefer running 5 infernal pistols, but I guess plasma pistols have a bit more range. We've got 1 Gladiator Lancer. We've got 1 squad of Incursors. We have the Librarian Dreadnought to move units around if we need it. Oh, shit. Let me sign out of Steam. Sorry, because you'll be seeing all these stupid Steam pop-ups and they'll just distract me. We have a Predator Annihilator, which I haven't run the Annihilator, but I think the Destructor is actually pretty decent. We have 5 Sanguinary Guard. We have the Thunderstrike, which I think is really decent, but kind of point heavy. I think the Thunderstrike probably needs to come down like 20 points, but I do think its buff is very good. And then we've got a Terminator squad with like a power weapon and a Stormbolter, and then 4 guys with Chain Fist and a Cyclone Missile Launcher. Okay, can Blood Angels ever be the top faction while it uses the Space Marine Codex? Couldn't all be split off like Thousand Suns? You know, we were split off a couple of editions ago, Daryl, and now we're back to being chapter compliant. I don't necessarily think you need to be the top faction, though, right? Do you like if you win every game, if you're the top faction, it probably is a bit boring. You just want to be competitive, right? I think that's fine. Thoughts on Astaroth versus the Jump Chaplain? +1 to wound on 1 versus 1 turn of devastating wounds, hitting a big target really hard. I don't necessarily think Astaroth is all that useful. If you're trying to save CP, I mean, like when you use the strength of Astaroth, right, is the devastating wounds, like you just said, for 1 turn. But you want to use you want to end up using Red Rampage whenever you fight anything that's strong, like anything that you fight with Death Company that's above toughness 8. You're going to need to use Red Rampage. Red Rampage doesn't really stack with devastating wounds, right? Because then you get lethal hits. So at that point, would you not just take the Chaplain and get the +1 to wound and not have to waste the CP? In reality, devastating wounds on a Death Company squad, because I used the Death Company with Thunderhammers a few times, it never seemed that great. Like, when you actually got down to it, like, you know, like 5 guys with Thunderhammers is what, like 15 attacks? So you hit on 4s, but you re-roll all of them, so you end up with about 10 hits. So you've got 10 wound rolls. How many 6s are you going to roll? Like 2? I mean, like, it never felt that good, the devastating wounds. I mean, I was using Thunderhammers. Arguably, you could be using Power Fists. You got a few more attacks, but I don't know. I don't know if I feel like devastating wounds from Astaroth is worth it. I don't see anyone running Astaroth in competitive lists. Yeah, I think I want to say that I think yeah, I don't know. I thought Astaroth. Oh yeah, he's got fight on death. That's the other thing Astaroth can do. He can fight on death. He's 100 point. His fight on death on a 4-up. I don't know. I'm running in my list. I'm running the Chaplain dude with a jump pack because he's cheaper, and yeah, I mean Astaroth gets like a really poor number of attacks as well when you're actually. Why has he only got 4 attacks? Really poor, actually. Okay, so this list your Chrono saying is about 73% win rate. So let me think about this as well. Then you've got a Terminator Librarian who's attached probably. Oh, he's written it down for me. Chrono saying thank you. Okay, so the Jump Chaplain leads a 5-man Sanguinary Guard unit. Sorry, Jump Captain leads a 5-man Sanguinary Guard unit, of course, because that lets you use the free stratagem on them. My Company Champion leads the Blade Guard. My Terminator Librarian leads the Terminators. The Jump Chaplain leads the Death Company. The Armored Firepower blasts out my opponent's armor units, and Oath of the Moment goes on wherever I need the infantry units to kill. Also, since I'm running Sons of Sanguinius, I'm using Red Rampage. I found that I have no reason to lose an attack by taking a Power Fist in the Sanguinary Guard. I guess. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're getting +1 to wound on the Sanguinary Guard, and you're using Red Rampage on them, then there's maybe not much point in taking the Power Fist. There's only going to be a few edge cases where the Power Fist outperforms, I guess. The captain gives a sanguinary guard +1 strength, so your Incarnate weapons are what, strength 7 on the charge with Sons of Sanguinius. So you're probably right. There's almost no point putting a power fist in there, I feel like. So your shooting is the Thunderstrike for +1 to wound, the Annihilator, a Lancer, and a Ballistus. You know, like, it's very similar. Like, if you a Lancer, a Ballistus, and an Annihilator is almost just like having having like 3 Lancers, right? It's just, you've just diversified a bit. So if the Lancer gets nerfed or something, you have a diverse portfolio. You've got Librarian Dreadnought, I assume, who's mainly going to throw your Terminators and your Blade Guard around, if you can. Cool. I mean, I think the Sons of Sanguinius lists that have done the best that I'm aware of do have some sort of like armor contingent or armor core, as you would like to call it, and the armor core in this list, I guess, is 2 tanks, 2 dreadnoughts, and a Thunderstrike. And I know the Thunderstrike isn't very survivable, but I think the buff on the Thunderstrike is huge. If you haven't used the Thunderstrike yet, or you don't have a Storm Speeder, it's basically whenever you attack a monster or vehicle and you hit it, all you got to do is hit it. This thing has three missiles that all hit on 2s, so the chances of you actually missing that are like slim to none. I know if you need a 2-up on 2 dice, it's like 97%. So I guess it's probably like 99.1% or 99 point something percent. So like, you're never gonna. The chances of rolling 111 on that are slim to none, or like super slim. So pretty much every time you go to shoot your big las cannons, you probably get +1 to wound with all your las cannons. So that's why that synergy works. That's probably one of the best ways to do it. Like, you take 3 Gladiator Lancers, that would be fine, and the Thunderstrike. You might not. I guess the point is, you might not need the Thunderstrike if you've got 3 Lancers, because you get to re-roll the wounds. But getting +1 to wound on a strength 14 cannon that does d6 +9. You can also get +1 to hit from the Incursors. Yeah, very good point. Yeah, I was running Incursors for a hot minute myself. I actually found it quite hard to keep the Incursors alive. That's why I dropped them myself. But yeah, Incursors give +1 to hit. All your armor and stuff hits on 2s. The Thunderstrike gives +1 to wound. Yeah, that's good. That's the way to make your shooting work for you. You can sort of double down on that in a Gladiators list, but that's fine. I like Blade Guard. I think they're possibly the best Primaris melee unit that we have. Terminators with Chain Fists makes sense again. People are running monsters, vehicles, so being able to attack them with Chain Fists is good. I tried these guys. I probably need to try them again. I think they're probably better than they ever performed for me. In the couple of games I ran them, they really underperformed. I think they're good with Rapid Ingress. What's the reasoning behind? I was going to say, what's the cost of Relic Terminators? I actually don't know, because Relic Terminators are maybe slightly better because they get their Sergeant can take a Chain Fist as well. But I guess they don't get the ability to Rapid Ingress for free. But yeah, how many points are Relic Terminators? Are they the same? Relic Terminators. They're 5 points cheaper? I mean, okay, if they're 5 points cheaper, then I think if you were ever considering it, I think swapping those guys out for Relic Terminators might not be a bad shout as well. But this is probably one of the most efficient Blood Angels lists you could run at the moment. You know, like, I think people thought that they wanted to run big squads attached to characters. I think it's better running the small squads attached to the characters. I think it's good having this much armor. Yeah. The only thing... If the Terminators are deep striking, I would probably just put the Blade Guard in Strategic Reserve. They get +1 to their charge anyway, and figure out a better use of points than Librarian Dreadnought. I guess the Librarian Dreadnought brings some survivability within his bubble of Psychic Fortress. I haven't seen really any value out of that for myself, but maybe in the meta you're playing and you see some value. Sorry, it's not called Psychic Fortress anymore, is it? It's called Shield of Sanguinius. So he has an aura, while friendly Adeptus Astartes units are within 6. They have a 5-up feel no pain against mortal wounds and psychic attacks. I mean, I guess that's good. That is good. Especially if you put him near like a tank that's gonna get mortal wounded to death by, I don't know, a stupid spear off a knight or something. That could potentially help. Yeah, the Librarian Dreadnought has a strength 12 attack. It's true. I guess strength 13 on the charge as well. Yeah, you know what? I like the Librarian Dreadnought. I guess I just thought he was maybe a little bit expensive at 195 points because he's only 8 wounds. Dreadnoughts seem very expensive compared to tanks. I think that's just a general rule of thumb. You know, like the Ballistus Dreadnought is like, what, 25 points cheaper? Or is it 15 points cheaper, sorry? And he's got 4 more wounds and he's got 1 more toughness. 15 points cheaper, 4 more wounds, it is, right? 4 more wounds, 1 more toughness. I'm not bullshitting. Can't spell ballistus though. That's annoying. Ballistus. Yeah, 1 more toughness, 4 more wounds, and he's 15 points cheaper. OC4 against OC3. Why would he have more OC than a Librarian Dreadnought who's got a friggin' power fist and a giant axe over this guy with no melee weapons? That makes no sense. But yeah, okay. I know it's cool list. I like it. I think if I was going to run Sons of Sanguinius, this is probably as close as I would run it. And I could actually run this, because I don't have 3 Gladiator Lancers. I do have a Ballista as a Lancer and the Storm Speeder, though. So, yeah, maybe in the future I'd run something like this. I'm going to probably wait until we see the points cost changes, or the whatever we're calling them. The balance state slate changes before I run Sons of Sanguinius again. If I'm winning every game now with Gladius, I'm going to just keep playing Gladius for now, because I guess I've got a tournament coming up in like 2 months, 3 months, 10 weeks or something, and I want to win the tournament. So if I've found a Gladius list that just wins every game, I'm going to keep playing it. But I do like this list a lot. Wargsbane, good evening. Jimmy, how are you doing? Good evening. Nice to see so many people here. It's been a little while since we did the Army List show. I'm sorry about that. It should be a bit more regular now. I don't have any more vacations planned for the rest of the year. I might be away on the odd weekend to watch some football or something like that, because the football season has started, but shouldn't be away for I basically haven't done an Army List show for like 3 weeks. Okay, next up we've got David Gallamore's list. He is also running Blood Angels, but this time it's a Gladiators list. Okay. So I'm expecting something a bit different. So we've got a Captain in Phobos armor. We've got a Primaris Apothecary times 2. Oh, wow. I don't think I've ever seen 2 Primaris Apothecaries. Interesting. We've got Intercessors. We've got 2 Impulsors. We have 2 Ballistus Dreadnoughts. We have 2 Death Company Dreadnoughts. Heavy Flamer, Meltagon, Magna Grapple, and Twin Furioso Fists on both. We've got 2 Gladiator Lancers. We've got 2 Hellblaster squads, so I'm guessing the Hellblasters plus the Apothecaries are in the Impulsors. We've got an Eversur Assassin. And we've got a 10-man Incursor squad. I'm not sure the logic behind the 10-man, not having it as 2 5s. Is this 2,000 points? And then the Eversur Assassin, so 250 plus another 250, 500, plus the 2 of them is 800, plus the 2 of these is 1,200, plus the 2 of these is 1,500, 1,700, 18. Yeah, okay. Wow, this is a weird list. He's got a Captain paired with Incursors. Oh, right, so the Captain in Phobos armor is paired with Incursors. People have been talking to me a lot about this, actually. So I haven't run it myself yet, but I think that means that you cannot shoot them within 12 inches or something. Am I wrong here, Captain Phobos armor? Oh, you'll think there's Librarian Phobos armor doesn't let you shoot. So once both players have deployed their armies, Phobos units, Scout squads, and Scout Sniper squads can be redeployed. All right, I'm missing something. Someone in chat, tell me, why would you have a captain in full boss armor paired to a squad of incursors? What are you getting from that? Like, what's good about that? You can use a stratagem on the incursors for free, but like, I guess you can get +1 to hit in shooting because of the incursors. But I'm not entirely sold on what's good about that actually. It's just the redeploy. That's it. That's all it gives you. I don't know if I like it if it's just a redeploy. I found that Evisor Assassin. Miles played Evisor Assassin against me for 75 points. He does kill. He's got like anti-infantry 3+. So if you got elite infantry like Terminators or something, Devisor Assassin will do really good work into them. James, good evening. Hellblasters with Apothecaries inside Impulsors will do very good, I suppose, at killing infantry. So he's got like 2 Impulsor bolts, whatever you want to call them, bolts, Hellblaster bolts that are just going to try and kill infantry, with the 2 Ballistuses and the 2 Lancers to kill armor. The Cursors and the Captain, I guess, are I think you'd be better off taking the Librarian in full boss, because the Librarian in full boss means you can't be shot when you're without 12 inches, right? Like, would that not be better than a Captain in full boss? It's probably slightly cheaper as well. Can the Librarian in full boss... Yeah, he can join in Cursors, and he's got, like... So he gives them model... he gives the unit 4-up feel no pain against psychic attacks, and you cannot be targeted by ranged if you're not within 12. I think that would be much better. It's probably... I bet you a Librarian in full boss is actually cheaper than a Captain in full boss as well. Librarian in full boss is 75, Captain in full boss is 80. Yeah, so you get 5 points back. You've got 1 squad of Intercessors. I guess they can sticky some home field objective or something like that. Infiltrators plus Librarian is the best full boss combo. Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to deny the board and all that sort of stuff, yeah, I think you're right. Infiltrators plus the Librarian is the best full boss combo. I think if you want to run a lot of full boss units, you probably do need that Librarian, because at the moment, like I preach it like every stream and say that infantry just die far too fast. So yeah, I can understand why he's got the infantry and transports, but a 10-man squad of incursors with a captain, I don't see it at all. You're going to have to leave me a comment, David, why you think that's good. And then the Death Company Dreadnoughts in Strategic Reserve. 2 of them. I like the Death Company Dreadnought a lot in Strategic Reserve, actually. Is anyone running Tycho really want to try him out with assault squads gone, tactical squads being met, and he can't join vets with jump packs? I don't know what to stick him with. So lots of people were running Tycho Bandit, but we were running him with the command squad, and he was friggin' awesome with the command squad. He was so much fun. The problem is, as soon as the Space Marine Codex comes out, the command squad is going to be a Legends unit, and you're not going to be able to use it anymore. So you've probably got like a month, maybe 8 weeks, maybe 10 weeks. You can run Tycho with a command squad, and it's really fun. I just converted a command squad and was painting them up. But I'm not bothering anymore, because what's the point if I can't run them, right? But you're right, I don't see anyone that's... The only squad that made sense with Tycho was the command squad, I feel like, and now you can't run them. I think if you want to run Tycho, run them as the Lost, I guess, and run them with like Death Company on foot. That might be the only way to do it now. It's a bit annoying because Tycho's gun was actually awesome. Like, I did like 8 mortal wounds with his gun to a tank in 1 turn of shooting. It was really good. Any prediction on the Vindicators going to Legends? I mean, I don't have any predictions on stuff going into Legends, Zacharias. I'm sorry. All I'm doing is I'm not buying any more Firstborn models. Since they actually announced that batch of stuff going into Legends, I haven't bought anything. It left a real bitter taste in my mouth. So if I'm buying stuff, I'm going to buy Primaris stuff. I don't think there's that much more Primaris stuff that I need that will improve my army. Maybe like one more Gladiator, because I already got one. But I'm just not buying any more Firstborn stuff. It's too risky, man. I'm not, like, I'm so slow at painting. I put like, I don't know, 20 hours into a Dreadnought or something. So like, I'm not putting 20 hours into a Dreadnought on top of buying it just to lose it within like a year or 2 years. Yeah. I think in the future I would be much more happy if at the start of the edition they just gave a full list of the stuff that was going into Legends. Just be like, we've decided, like we don't need to get rules to get people excited to build those models or convert those models and then tell them like 3 weeks later they're going into Legends or however many weeks it was. Just tell us straight up. Like, I'd just rather know so I don't waste my time. I've been having a lot of fun with the Vindicators as well. I've got 2 in my list. I know they're expensive, but I'm keeping both. They're toughness 11. They're 11 wounds. You get 2-up save, and when you Armor of Contempt them, then that basically gives them 2-up, ignoring 1 AP. It's very easy to get cover, which means you can ignore 2 AP. I like them, and I think with Oath of Moment, the Vindicators are awesome. So there's a Primaris Command Squad box incoming. A Captain, an Ancient, an Apothecary, sprues, plus a couple of Veterans. Maybe there is, I don't know. The only thing like that I've bought is that the Primaris Company Champion. I've got an order of him, like a made to order one from ages ago actually now. But I think before 10th edition dropped actually, so might need to check on that. Yeah, I'm not sure when I ordered that. Okay, this is a cool enough list, I feel like. Couple of Lancers, couple of Ballistas, the Hellblaster Bolts, the Death Company Dreads in reserve. Yeah, like if this was me, I would just Librarian and Phobos, Incursors, make it a 5-man, and then make a second squad of Incursors or something that can be in strategic reserve with those Death Company Dreadnoughts and score your points. Overall, I think it's not a bad list at all, actually. But yeah, I don't understand the 10-man Incursors with a Captain and Phobos. I don't see any strength in that. But hey, I'm not infallible. Maybe I'm making a big mistake. Okay, next up we've got Jeremy DeCanto. He is running Sons of Sanguinius. It seems like it's going back and forth tonight. Okay, so a Captain in Terminator armor, a Chaplain with a jump pack, Dante, the Primaris Tech Marine, and the Sanguinary Priest with jump pack. I had to think about that for a second. I was like, what? The Sanguinary Priest with jump pack? Okay, yes. He's got an Impulsor. He's got 3 Blade Guard. He's got a Death Company Dreadnought. We've seen a lot of Death Company Dreadnoughts recently. Got 5 Death Company with Infernal Pistols and Power Fists, so I like it. We get 2 Gladiator Lancers. We got 5 Sanguinary Guard with no Power Fist again. We've got 5 Assault Terminators, all with Lightning Claws. I need to look at the profile actually on Assault Terminators with Lightning Claws, because are they strength 6 twin linked? How many attacks? They are strength 5, sorry. Twin linked, 5 attacks. So 25 attacks, hitting on 3s, re-rolling wounds. Okay. And this was a Gladiators list, so they're just strength 5. No, sorry, this is Sons of Sanguinius list. Okay, so on the charge, they're strength 6, my bad. And then you've got Vanguard Veterans, you've got a 10-man with heirloom weapons and a bunch of Grav Pistols. I think Grav Pistols have anti-vehicle rules. I don't actually run Grav Pistols much myself. They're anti-vehicle 2-up, -1, 2 damage. Okay, so 10 of them in a squad's actually not horrible. If you shoot them at vehicles, that's potentially... because you got anti-vehicle 2-up. Yeah, I mean, I guess... I hadn't really thought about putting Grav Pistols on the Vanguard Veterans. I run all mine with Storm Shields, but yeah, I mean, it's not a bad choice. Alright, so the Captain was with Assault Terminators. So that'll actually make them strength 7 on the charge. Because, no. What does the Captain in Terminator armor give? He gives Rites of Battle and reroll charges, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so there's still strength 6 on the charge from the Sons of Sanguinius. We've got Dante with the Sanguine Guard. Okay. We've got the Chaplain with the Death Company. Cool, we get +1 to wound. We got the Sanguinary Priest with the Vanguard Vets. So the Vanguard Vets are only led with the Priest. So they get 1 more AP on their melee weapons, and they get 5 up, feel no pain. Detect Marine's obviously a lone operative. Yeah, he's chilling around the Lancers, doing his +1 to hit / repair. So keep Death Company, Squadron, Terminators, and Vanguard Vets in reserve. Seems like a lot of reserves. Keep Death Company, Dreadnought, and Blade Guard in strategic reserve. Strategy is use Vanguard to mop up the Lancers left over with grav pistols after coming in from deep strike and trying to get in close. What is what's the range on a grav pistol? Like 12 inches. I don't know, I don't use grav pistols. Grav pistol. Yeah, 12 inches, okay. So if there's something left over, you bring in the Vanguard veterans to try and take it out. That's not a bad plan. Use the Death Company Dreadnought out of strategic reserve to try and charge with Magna Grapple and Tank Shock. Do you know, I hadn't thought about using Tank Shock on the Death Company Dreadnought, but that's not a bad plan either, because he's pretty much going to get to roll like 14d6. The Death Company squad out of strategic reserve to strike at the same enemy. Even if the squad doesn't make the charge, the Chaplain is still within 12 inches of the Dreadnought, I suppose, so that the Dreadnought has OBSEC. The Blade Guard in the middle objective with Impulsor, backed up with Assault Terminators, Rapid Ingress, and Free Heroic Intervention. Free Heroic Intervention from the Captain. You keep the Sanguinary Guard on the home field objective. Bring everyone in on turn 2 or 3 and stack up primaries and secondaries. Make them clean up infantry that's already taken out 2 or 3 armor. Okay. He's played it, I guess, once and beat Tau. Seems like a lot of infantry, actually. What was that? 10, 15, 20, 25, 28. 28 infantry. Yeah, I mean, it feels more to me like a 9th edition list than a 10th edition list. SJ says he's still waiting and was made to order Primaris Champion. Ordered it back in May. Was that one of the ones they said 180 days? You might have to wait 6 months for that. We should have probably done what Chrono's saying. It's done and just bought the Emperor's Champion and converted it. Yeah, so we're waiting longer on the made to order champion. Okay. I mean, I like the fact he's got 2 Lancers and you've got a Death Company Dreadnought in reserve. An Impulsor with Blade Guard is actually quite fragile. That's why I'm putting, like in my list, I'm using a Repulsor, like Toughness 12 Repulsor, to go to the middle of the board, because Impulsors typically can get killed in 1 turn from not even that much needs to shoot at them. They seem to they either take no wounds or they just die instantly, don't they? Sanguinary Guard to defend the home field is fine, but it's expensive, and you might be better off just with the infiltrators and using some points elsewhere. I'm not sure I love Lightning Claw Terminators anymore. Like, they're just strength 6. Yeah, I guess you can give them +1 to wound. I guess you can. They're twin linked, so you'll get re-rolls. Is anyone running Lightning Claw Terminators? Does anyone think they're the best choice? Like, for 200 points there, we just said you could have 5 Terminators. You could have 5 Relic Terminators. The Relic Terminators can have... Everyone can have a Combi Bolter. Everyone can have a Chain Fist, which I think is probably just as good, if not better, than Lightning Claws. And then someone in that squad, if it's can have like a grenade harness, so you can do like 8-inch grenades for mortal wounds. Someone else in the squad could have like an assault cannon, whatever. It's not called an assault cannon. The Relic Terminator assault cannon. You know what I'm talking about. Toughness 12 feels very much like a breakpoint. It really is. I feel like we were having a chat about this the other night, David. I think they should have made everything that's got like toughness 12 and 13 in 10th edition. They should have made it toughness 10, because stuff. If you go back to 9th edition, there was a few tanks, very few, or there was a few monsters that were like toughness 9, and toughness 9 was so difficult to deal with, like, and they just pushed it so far. So like, you know, like I guess Thunderhammers is a good example in that when you come up against toughness 9 enemies, Thunderhammers suddenly wound on 5s and become useless. So when they've made like Sanguinary Guard sword strength 5, strength 6 on the charge, and you're fighting toughness 12 enemies, then even on the charge with your +1 to strength, you're still only wounding on 6s. Like, that's horrific. That's horrific. Like, they're not going to do anything. Like, Sanguinary Guard. And I mean, like, that's why I was saying, like, Vindicators are expensive, right? But, like, if you actually mathed it out, like, 5 Sanguinary Guard. How many attacks do Sanguinary Guard they get? They get like 5, right? Sanguinary Guard. Well, they get 4 attacks, but it becomes 5 in the Sons of Sanguinius detachment. So you're like 5 Sanguinary Guard, so 5 attacks, right? So 25 attacks. If you charged a Vindicator, right? You hit on 3s, right? Why don't we just say you've got Dante there, so you hit on 2s. Let's just say Dante's leading the squad as well, right? So let's just say you hit on 2s, and then you only wound on 5s. And then your Vindicator would save on 4s, but you could pay to save on 3s. So even if you don't pay anything, you don't pay Armor of Contempt or anything, statistically you only fail like 3 saves on a Vindicator against like a 5-man squad of Sanguinary Guard led by Dante. If they're not led by Dante, statistically you only fail 2 saves. Sorry, I did that wrong, but yeah, it would be like 2.5 saves. And the thing is, the second you try and put pressure on my Vindicator, for example, I'm just going to play Armor of Contempt on it. So 5 Sanguinary Guard costs 5 more points than a Vindicator. I think it's 10. I think the Vindicator's 205, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's 210. So yeah, like the second you go after my Vindicator, I'm going to play Armor of Contempt on it. And that's before maybe, like, if you charge my Vindicator, I'm going to Overwatch you because I can potentially get, like, 10 hits. Any 6 is possibly going to kill the guys. And, man, Sanguinary Guard just don't, like... People are saying, like, oh, if Sanguinary Guard are 38 points per model, that'll be good. I still think they'll actually be kind of a shit at 38 points per model. It's, like... It's the disparity between the strength and the toughness of enemies that's the problem. I mean, their points costs are a problem, don't get me wrong, but the disparity between the two is bad as well. So this list, then, I mean, I personally, I guess if I was going to field Sons of Sanguinius and I had to field this much infantry, I don't mind this grav pistol stuff. I'm not sure I love this. I think I would always take like the Relic Terminators over this with the Bolters, and I'd probably take Chain Fists, because I feel like Chain Fists can kill both infantry and vehicles. And I don't think Lightning Claws, like Strength 5 Lightning Claws, I don't think they do anything to vehicles. Even with +1 on the charge, you still only wound on 6s, so your rerolls mean literally nothing. I'd much rather have Chain Fists over those. The logic behind putting an Impulsor and just 3 Blade Guard into the middle of the map, I guess you're backing up with the Terminators. Yeah, I mean, as long as you're not expecting them to hold the middle by themselves, because they're not going to. And then for me, this feels like maybe one too many characters. Some people are doing more characters than this, but my list only includes 2 characters. So this is a bit different from what I'm playing. Based on my experience, like I played knights with like this much infantry. I also played against I think I played against Nurgle Demon. No, maybe it wasn't Nurgle Demons. Maybe it was just demons. Maybe it was just Chaos Demons with this much infantry. And I got beat as well because Chaos Demons have so much damn toughness. You know, Beasts of Nurgle are like toughness 9 and their characters are like toughness 10. I just couldn't deal with them. Having a couple of Lancers would help, but I'm not sure if 2 Lancers is enough, in my opinion, with this much infantry. Infantry also get killed so damn quickly at the moment, so yeah, is it okay? It's okay, Jeremy. I feel like this is maybe more than 9th edition list. If it was me, I'd probably be dropping something and finding a way. Like, yeah, I'd probably just straight out drop the Sanguinary Guard. We just said the Vindicator is great. Why not just drop the 5 Sanguinary Guard, put in a Vindicator? Brewing Biscuit says Sanguinary Guard feel like a waste of points right now. They need to be back at 150 for 5. I probably agree more. Anyone running Chainfist Terminators or Assault Centurions? So I'm running Assault Centurions in my current list. And I've only played them twice, I think. And I like them because there's two good things about them. And I made a mistake and missed the Centurion. Well, there's not many ways to get 3 damage. I think Centurions are the only infantry unit that have a 3 damage melee weapon. And they're strength 10 on that melee weapon as well, right? But the nice thing about them is they're sustained hits 2 against monsters, vehicles, or fortifications. So if you've got 3 of them, which I do, and that's all I've got on my list, you get 9 attacks. Every 6 is bursting 2 additional. If you're in Sons of Sanguinius, then you're getting 12 attacks, and every 6 is bursting 2 additional. So what happened? I think I had my 9 attacks. I think I missed 2 and got 2 6s. So I ended up getting 10 attacks. And then they're strength 10, they're -2, they're 3 damage, and they're twin linked. So I think Centurions are fairly decent. I think the problem with Centurions is you need to have a way to deliver them, right? Because they're slow as shit. And they're even slow coming out of transport. You know, you disembark 3 and get your 4-inch move. It still feels super slow. So yeah, if you can deliver the Centurions, they're good. I ran Chainfist Terminators, and like I said, I think they didn't perform for me, and then I dropped them. I think they're good. I do think they're decent. Just I had a horrific matchup. I was playing a Knights player who had -1 damage and -1 AP on his Knight. So like the Chainfists just got neutered so hard because they went from like whatever Chainfists are -2, they just became -1, and then rather than being 2 damage, they went down to 1 damage, and it was just really bad matchup for the Terminators with Chainfists. And I guess you get bad matches up. You can't let that bother you. With the Centurions, I'm worried about them being Firstborn. Well, I mean, don't rush out and buy Firstborn is my advice at the moment. Dagimorph. Hello, fellow angels. How are we doing? Librarian Dreadnought really good for yeeting things forward like that. Yeah, I've been putting my Centurions inside a repulsor. The other way you could do it with the Centurions, I guess, is you could wrap an ingress. So you would be like, bring them in 10 or 11 inches away, maybe, and then try and use their 4-inch move to at least get them reasonably close. Or, we call Assault Doctrine if you're in Gladius and get them in 4 plus D6, I guess. But yeah, 9 attacks on the Centurions didn't sound like much because it's only 3 guys, but in reality, because it's as long as you're fighting monsters, vehicles, or fortifications, and I feel like that's what you're fighting with Centurions. You're not really going after infantry with Centurions. You've got bolters and you've got flamers typically on the Centurions. So if you want to kill infantry, kill them with your bolters and your flamers, then charge the vehicles. Okay, so Jeremy's list isn't my favourite. I feel like there's a little bit too much infantry in there. My experience in 10th edition, where I stand right now, is I feel like infantry are they're in a really bad spot. They're like too many points, and they're not survivable. And it's really difficult to... What's your opinion on Centurions with Las Cannons? I don't know. I mean, I guess they're more for Ultramarines list, I've always thought. I don't know. I've never run Centurions with Las Cannons. Nothing can lead the Centurions, you're right. But if you put them in a Repulsor or Land Raider that has like a capacity of 12, if you put 3 of them in there, Chrono's saying, then you can fit... You can fit 3 Blade Guard in there as well. And here's the annoying thing. You can't actually fit 6 Centurions in any of the transports. 6 Centurions needs like a transport capacity of 18 and nothing has 18. So, Helen Phoenix is not buying anything till the new codex. Yeah, I'm telling you guys all not to buy stuff. And then I wonder why my Element Games affiliate links are not getting any clicks. Because, yeah, I guess everybody's waiting for the codex. That's the reality of the situation. Thunderhawk meta. I'm never going to buy a Thunderhawk now because I'll be too scared it's going Legends, Mike. Yeah. I honestly think, though, I could be wrong here. I honestly think that, like there was a lot of, like, Forge World models that I have wanted. They're on, like, a wish list. You know, lots of models that were playable in 40k that I never got around to buying. They killed that for me. Like, I wanted that Age of Darkness set, you know, the one with the Spartan and all that. I wanted maybe another super heavy tank like the Strauss. I'm just, you know, it's just like the Legends changes killed all that for me. Like, I'm not interested in it anymore. Um, and like probably over the next year, like if we look at my last couple of years, I said in the channel I probably spend somewhere between 500 and $1,000 on Warhammer a year, and that includes probably half of it on Forge World. Well, I'm just not going to be spending that on Forge World anymore, right? Um, Highland Phoenix still waiting for Dante, dude. That's insane. You've been waiting for Dante like 6 months at this time. Uh, I think that GSC and Eldar will get some serious changes in the next balance data slate. They've got to see if they leave those two armies above 60% for like another 3 months, like because they left Nids above like six. They left last. I think it was last edition. Harlequins were like above like 65-70% for like a year. I really hope they don't do that again this edition. It's so stupid when they leave like one army like that far ahead of everybody else for like a year. It's like, why? Why do they do that? I mean, it sells that army, sure, but just for anyone that's not interested in collecting that army, it's such a kick in the teeth. Um, all right, final list for tonight. We've got a list from Toby. Um, this is a captain in Gravis armor, Mephiston, and a Primaris captain. I don't think we've seen anyone running the captain in Gravis armor. I wonder who he is attached to. And this is a Sons of Sanguinius list. So Sons of Sanguinius is all the list tonight. We've got the Assault Intercessors. We've got 6 aggressors. I don't think I've seen 6 aggressors. I had to take a double take there. These are Bolt Storm aggressors. We have 6 Blade Guard as well. We have Gladiator Lancer times 2, Librarian Dreadnought times 1, Redemptor Dreadnought times 2. I'm just going to say that I hate the Redemptor Dreadnoughts right now. When's the next point adjustment? Brew asks. I believe about 2 or 3 weeks from now. So I have 3 Redemptor Dreadnoughts. I have them in a box. So I can literally see the box out of the corner of my eye. And I love all 3 of my Redemptor Dreadnoughts. But I honestly think there's no reason to run them right now. I don't know what they're used. I don't know how you. They're so expensive, 225 points, and I don't know what you can use them for. Because their main cannon doesn't kill. The point of bringing them before was they killed armor, right? Their main cannon was strength 9. Most armor was like T8, so they were used to kill armor. Their main cannon is still strength 9, right? Whereas all the armor went flying up. So I don't know what you can use a Redemptor Dreadnought for. I have 3 of them. They're all painted. I don't know what you can use it for. I guess you can use it to kill infantry, but why would you use it to kill infantry? Because there's much more efficient models to kill infantry. And I sure as hell wouldn't put an onslaught cannon on it, because the onslaught cannon is bloody terrible. Absolutely, it's like one of the worst weapons in the game. No AP. You'll do a couple of mortal wounds. 220. I don't understand this at all, honestly. Like, it's just a waste of 225 points. I was thinking, like, when 10th edition came out and we knew all the toughness was going up, I was like, oh cool, I've got 3 fully finished magnetized Redemptor Dreadnoughts. I'm going to get some serious use out of them. And I actually went to a tournament in 9th edition with, like, I think I did a tournament with 2 Redemptors, yeah. I beat the best player in Scotland with a list with 2 Redemptor Dreadnoughts in it. And now I'm just looking at the Redemptor Dreadnoughts like, what the hell are you using this for? You think it's okay, the strength 9? On your oath target. I mean, I guess if you took a Thunder Strike and you gave it +1 to wound, and then you used the oath target, but at that point you still have the problem with the Redemptor Dreadnought, where its number of shots is random, and it's big random. It's 2 shots to 7 shots, right? Like, I thought this would have been better if it had been like 2d3, like, close the range or whatever. I don't know why that needs to be so random. But regardless, I just don't know. See, I just think I think they're rubbish. I honestly think they're totally rubbish. They need some... Even at 200 points, I don't think I would field them. And that's like a 10% off. I think there's just much better options. And clear options. Like, you pick a Lancer, you know what it's going to do. If you wanted to kill infantry, I guess you could pick a Vindicator was 10 points cheaper, right? His main cannon is like strength 14 minus 3d6 damage. I guess the only so the Redemptor has -1 damage, cool, and it has a melee weapon, cool. I guess that's why it's so expensive. But his shooting is just gash, and I feel like the strength of these things were that they could do both, and I think now they only do melee. And if you want to do melee, there's better options. Yes, Company Dreadnought is definitely better in my opinion, and it's easier to make charges with as well. Brutalis Dreadnought would be better as well, more damage on the charge. You got the Repulsor Executioner in here. I like the Executioner. I actually want to try one out. The main cannon, the Executioner, the Laser Destroyer, is really, really good. I think it hits on 2s, or no, it's got like a buff when the enemy's on low health, right? Each time this model makes an attack against targets of below half strength, add 1 to the hit roll. So it hits on 3s, but once you start shooting stuff that's below half strength, you get +1 to hit. So, and it's on that it's on the toughness 12 platform with 16 wounds. Probably you could have a Tech Marine run around in there. I like the Executioner. It's still got transport capacity of 5 or 6, so you could get a squad of Blade Guard in there. I like the Executioner. I just don't have one. I just have the regular Repulsor. But like, if I had one of these, I might run one. I think it's better than it maybe was before. You've got the Exaction Squad, Mephistons with Assault Intercessors, of course, Captains with the Blade Guard, and the Gravis is with the Aggressors. I've been doing well with this list. I teleport either Blade Guard or Aggressors up the board turn 1, as close then the next turn to apply early pressure, and my tanks sit back and hit heavy targets. The Dreads have been performing very well. I run them both together up the board on one edge. Then once I've thinned the enemy a little bit, I place the Exaction Squad unit onto another objective, or the Librarian Dread onto one. I've beaten Nids, Dark Angels, Imperial Guard, and got Necrons coming up. The Dreads have been performing very well. Okay. Weird, because I ran Redemptors and was like looking at them going like, these guys do nothing. So who in chat is running Redemptors? And who thinks they're good? Shane's working on a second Executioner. 2 Executioners, 2 Gladiators. You played that list yet, Shane? That sounds fun. I mean, that sounds like pretty meta, actually. Like, they do not kill much, but they do not die easily. And the enemy lose too much focus. I mean, I guess they maybe don't die easily. I was going to say, Redemptor Dreadnoughts do not have smokescreen, right? No, they don't have the smoke. 2 up save, toughness 10. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I guess the -1 damage. Yeah, situationally, the -1 damage can come in big, but I guess like if you just get shot by a Gladiator Lancer and you have to take 10 damage, -1 damage doesn't do all that much, right? I found the Gladiators are a touch swingy into 9, toughness 9+. I guess the Gladiators that's why some people are running that Thunder Strike with the Gladiators. I think the same with like That's why I usually put Oath of Moment on my Vindicator's target. Just because, like, the Vindicator does a crap load of damage, but it needs to hit and it needs to wound. So, I think you need to come up against the full range of armies. Well, I'm getting there. I'm playing different armies every week, Mike. I'm getting there. The problem is I only play one game a week, I guess. Can't do much about that. You know, you gotta spend time with the kids and stuff like that. Okay. Well, double Gladiator Lancer, double Redemptor, an Executioner Librarian Dread, Aggressors and Blade Guard, Assault Intercessors and Mephiston. That's definitely something we've not seen yet. And it's beaten mids. He beat Knights, apparently. Dark Angels and Imperial Guard. And he's got Necrons coming up. So this list is performing really well, actually. I was going to say, interesting that he's running it in Sons of Sanguinius. This list, to me, feels like it might get a lot of value out of Gladiators. Just because, like, you get those fallback and charges on the Dreadnoughts, or you could get, what is it? Assault Doctrine on those Dreadnoughts. I think if I was going to play this, I might play this as Gladiators, personally. But I guess Sons of Sanguinius give those Aggressors and Blade Guard a bit more punch. Blade Guard can be a bit swingy, but they are only Strength 5. Is Strength 6 that much difference? I feel like it's not. Like, if you're fighting armor with Blade Guard, there's not much difference, I feel like, between Strength 5 and 6. But, I was going to say, what does a Primaris Captain bring? Like, I haven't run the Primaris Captain myself. He brings... Oh, he can use that once per game until the end of the phase. He can get 3 extra attacks and he can do devastating wounds. I mean, it's not bad. And I actually don't know what the captain with the Gravis armor does off the top of my head. I haven't run him either. He was the captain that came in that kill team box, Pariah Nexus or something. Oh yeah, what each time an attack is made to him, you have the characteristics of the damage output. So it's not situationally, again, it's okay. Strength 6 wounds T10 on 5s or 4s with Lance. I mean, yeah, I guess it helps a bit. I suppose, it helps against... the second you come into toughness 12 again, that's a problem, but maybe you aren't coming into toughness 12 all that much. If you play against Votan, at least then toughness 6 is more common. Strength 6 and Strength 7 are huge versus armor. I mean, they help a lot, yeah. I suppose it depends on where your enemy is. See, I played my Blade Guard into Beasts of Nurgle, and obviously I'm not in Sons of Sanguinius, so I'm only Strength 5. I found Beasts of Nurgle horrific to deal with. Sons of Sanguinius would help a little bit, maybe, an extra attack and extra strength. My Redemptor was one-shotted by a Doomsday Arc yesterday. The -1 damage is not very powerful nowadays, I think. Do you know what, Lan? My Redemptor was one-shotted by that stupid harpoon on the Knights as well. That's probably why I think they're so crap. Yeah, I don't know. I just think, like, if you... It's tough. I mean, everything's going to change in a few weeks anyway, right? Once we get the points costs and stuff. I was able to get 5 Sanguinary Guard and a Captain into a Knight and killed it. That sounds like a miracle. How many wounds did the Knight have? Because, yeah, that actually does sound like a bit of a miracle. He must have failed like every save, jeez. Okay, this is a Sons of Sanguinius list. Something different. Something cool. So a few people that sent the list tonight have said that they've been doing really well with their list. So, I've been doing really well with my list. I'm 3 wins on the trot. and I think I'm playing CSM or Orcs on Thursday night. So, Wednesday night. So you can come along and watch that game on Wednesday if you want to watch it. To see a Gladius tank list. That's what I'm playing at the moment. It's winning, so I'm going to keep playing it. I'm also going to cover a list that's won a tournament this week that basically is also a very different Blood Angels list. But I guess if you go over to MetaWatch, because I was on the MetaWatch, I noticed that Games Workshop did a MetaWatch this week, Warhammer MetaWatch. I didn't watch the video yet, because when they put out these MetaWatch articles, go away. They put out a video, and I like the guys in the video. I do. Is this the newest one? This can't be it, is it? No. Why would the newest one not be the first search on Google? I guess I've got to actually type in 2023. This one. 10th of August. Yes, so I was on vacation when this got released. But they said on this, they literally posted, Blood Angels have a 41% win rate, which is good, right? Because last edition we sat at 45% for like a year. And here's the problem, when you're at 45%, Games Workshop ignore you. Same as if you're at 55%, you get ignored because this zone in the middle is too big. It should be 52 to 48, in my opinion. 55 to 45 is way too big. Anyway, it's good we're sitting at 41 because it means that we are actually under the 45 and they will actually look at us and they will make some changes. Triple Whirlwind, I don't think that's good, but I guess you could do it. Maybe if you've got a Thunder Strike, it could help it. But I don't know. I don't think I like Triple Whirlwind. But anyway, so they posted this. You can watch the article over on Warhammer Community. But from what I'm seeing, based on like the lists that people are sending and how people think they're getting on, it feels like the people that have adapted, people who are still playing their 9th edition All Melee, Blood Angels, lots of Sandguard, lots of Death Company, are struggling. People that are adapting, and all the lists we looked at tonight are adapting, are doing much better than 41%. Like I said, I've won the last 3 games in a row. I'm pretty sure I can beat Brett. And I already sent him my list. I'm not changing my list. So I said to him, tailor it if you want. But he's going to a tournament, so he's bringing his tournament list. So I'm doing much better than 41% now. Other people in the community are doing much better. I think you've got to adapt. Think about what's good in the Space Marine unit, Space Marine Codex, what's good there. If you didn't, and here's the thing that's weird with YouTube, is sometimes YouTube does not always promote my videos because I make bad thumbnails or I made bad names for the video. This video that I put up on Friday about winning games and strategic reserves didn't get a lot of views, but I did put some really insightful stuff in that video about how I've been scoring in the new secondaries and winning games. So check it out if you didn't check it out yet. And come join us on Wednesday night if you want to see some live battle reports, I guess. And as soon as they do the points updates and they do some sort of overall balance pass and they release the Space Marine Codex. So I think that's coming first. Then after that, they're going to release the Space Marine Codex. I think what I'm going to do is, as soon as we get the Space Marine Codex, that's had a little time to settle. That's when we'll actually do some tier lists. So that's my plan. That's the next couple of months coming up on the channel, stuff like that. I think I was the one that said 38 points for Sanguinary Guard would make them okay and maybe playable. I didn't say it would be good. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, I don't think... I didn't mean to call you out, Mass Profect. I was just saying that I think that there's too many matchups where they're bad. And, even Strength 6 into Toughness 12, or, like... if you go back in edition, Sanguinary Guard could fight like a Great Unclean One and do okay. Well, a Great Unclean One's like Toughness 13 now. So, like... good luck, I guess, killing Toughness 13 Great Unclean Ones. Even with, like, friggin' Thunderhammer, like, there's no point taking Thunderhammers anymore. Melee's been hurt bad as well because of the consolidation changes, and also because of the lack of 3 damage weapons. So anyway, I am going to take off. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed tonight's video, you can leave a like. And if you want to get your army on the show in the future, put your army list in a comment to this video, and I'll add it to the queue, and you'll get and we'll have a look at you in a future video. You have to run Sons of Sanguinius and a captain to make the Sanguinary Guard playable. I kind of agree with that, but then I think the Sanguinary Guard at 215 points just puts me off. I think they're way too easy to kill. They're toughness 4... Yeah, they're toughness 4 infantry for 215 points. I mean, like, they only get 2 wounds. It's actually ridiculous how easy it is to kill. But no, I'm with you. I don't think I ever, all the way through 9th edition, ran 3 squads of 7 Sanguinary Guard. I was never that guy that just went all in on Sanguinary Guard. I liked a couple of squads of them, and I liked smaller squads of them, but where they stand right now, I'm just not interested in them at all. Yeah. Alright, night-night, guys. It's good to catch you all. I was going to say, I think we'll probably manage to do all our streams this week. I was going to say I'm not going out to watch football. I've not got nothing going on. So in that case, I'll probably live game on Wednesday night, and then some sort of hobby hangout later in the week. So enjoy your evening. Great to see you all. Thanks for coming by. Leave a like. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
It is the 41st millennium. Mankind battles for survival across the universe, besieged on all fronts by the heretic, the mutant, and the alien. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. One faction of Space Marines stands amidst the chaos, the mightiest of the Emperor's warriors, and a beacon of light in the darkness. This legion, the 9th Legion of Adeptus Astartes, the Blood Angels,